Okay, time now is 6:26 a.m. in the morning on June 16th. So I went to bed at 3:30, 3:35 maybe, and I did not fall asleep at all, actually. I don't think this had ever happened to me ever. I mean, I've pulled all-nighters before, but I pulled all-nighters like a couple times because I had to, but I've never just did not sleep. I just did not. I just did not sleep at all. Like originally I was gonna go to bed at like, so first of all, originally I thought I could just wake up at 7, and I thought 3:30 to 7, that's like 3.5 hours, not bad. Turns out the person is picking me up at 6:40. So I'm like, fuck, gotta go to bed. And then, of course, it took a while for me to get to bed. Finally got to bed at 3:30. I even took a sleeping pill. I just couldn't fall asleep. And I rolled around and the fucking smoke detector keeps beeping. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's just, I'm used to falling asleep at 5 a.m. So right now it's still early, but I will eventually. So yeah, I went out and I turned on my phone to see how much time has passed, and it's already 4:50. So I'm like, fuck. Okay, it's fine. I can fall asleep now. So I tried to fall asleep and I still couldn't. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't consume any caffeine right before bed. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what the fuck is wrong. And the thing is, I don't feel tired. I didn't yawn. I didn't feel sleepy at all. I feel nothing. And I felt really hot. Like, maybe it's the heat? I don't know. So anyways, I rolled around bed again and again and again, and at some point I just gave up. I looked at my clock and I'm like, wow, it's already like 5:40 a.m. I give up. I'm just not gonna sleep. I give up. I'm not gonna fucking sleep. So yeah, right now, even though in this corner you'll see June 16th, but to me it's still June 15th. It's June 15th over time. The day is not over yet. Like, it's still the 15th for me. And as you can see, oh, look at me, I'm dancing, I'm dancing, I'm dancing, see, so much energy. 0 hours of sleep, so much energy. So, oh, my fingers are sweating too. I don't know why it's so hot. The AC is on 70 degrees. Yeah, but if the set ends at 1 p.m., as Tristan have said, and I arrive home at 2 p.m., you know, I'm down for some afternoon sleep. And then after that point, then June 16 will officially begin. But yeah, that's it. See, wide awake. Look at my eyeballs. Look at my eyeball. Look at my eyeball. Look at my eyeball. Penis, 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 penis. I'm so awake, bitch. I'm so awake. I don't need sleep. Who needs sleep?
Yeah. And you?
Is about. Do you know? Have you heard? Have you heard of this?
That's crazy. Like, the OIS told me that if I'm undergrad, I'm less suspicious.
You are undergrad, you are not?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
less suspicious.
Oh, okay.
Because, like the ICE, they like to catch PhD students more.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, yeah.
PhD.
Yeah.
博士. That's the tour. Universal tour.
I didn't know we're so close.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're in the Universal Studios now.
Oh,
Like the
okay.
theme part.
Fucking Christ, you all are a real gift to God's green earth, aren't you? Gosh, boy, no wonder the kid's depressed. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yes. Okay. Well, that was perfect, and it was. I got so into it. Like we can't come play, because like in my head I was like, oh maybe the camera would come like closer to them as they're escaping. You get old rights and stuff. You can get both. You can get both. You can get rights.
Also, like, I think it's really neat how
Alright guys, take a quick swig and let's get into first how we can get this treatment.
You can carry your Celsiuses.
We have lots of background, 2 locations, 2 hospitals.
Yes, we can store things.
Hello. Hello. Okay, time now is 10:55 p.m. I just woke up from the chair because I fell asleep on the chair, and I think I fell asleep for like a whole hour. So yeah, I have to like stand up and walk right now, because if I don't, I'm actually gonna fall asleep. So yeah, I did not sleep today. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. I think it's I don't know why. Maybe it's a combination of things. Maybe it's just stress, because I'm like a little bit nervous about going to set today. I don't know. Maybe it's also just because I already slept a lot. So my body's like, nah, you don't have to sleep today. Maybe it's the fact that I ate ice cream and tried to watch a little bit of a movie right before bed, and it kind of fucked up my mind. But anyways, I just cannot sleep at all, and did not Did not even slip. Did not even slip away. I was wide fucking awake. So of course I'm really mad. I didn't even brush my teeth after I quote unquote wake up. I didn't even brush my teeth. The thing is, usually when I fall asleep and I wake up, as little as the sleep is, usually if if I lose consciousness, this means I have to brush my teeth. But I didn't even do that. My mouth is totally the same. So I didn't even brush my teeth. My mouth literally feels the same. I don't have like stinky sleep breath or anything. So anyways, there was that. So I did not fucking brush my teeth. I just drank some water and I'm gone. I'm out of here. So at 6:50, I was picked up, and I was prepared to be picked up by utter complete strangers. I showed up. There's a car, and then there are two Asian women at the front, and then I get into the car, and this woman, her name is Jin, and then I'm like, haha, and then it turns out she speaks English really well. I thought she's gonna be like Chinese, and then it turns out she's like briefly driving this other woman, and then she asked me to sit in the front, and she's like, oh, Enoch, I think we were on the same set together. And I'm like, really? Which one? And she's like, Maisie set. And I'm like, oh yeah. And at that point, it still hasn't clicked. And then I found out that it's literally like Maisie set. Like, I remember Maisie set, and that was late April for her virtual production thing. I showed up for maybe a few hours because the whole session, the whole shoot was a few hours only. And Jing Chen is competing with this other woman. Turns out it's her. But I had zero recollection. I did not recognize her. Maybe I had a sneaking suspicion, but I don't know. I feel like France, when I went to Cannes Film Festival and everything, I basically just had an amnesia. I came back to LA and I feel like I just forgot about a bunch of people already. So I'm like, oh yeah. Anyways, she drove me, and then she's like, she ordered Starbucks for me. So she's like, oh, one Starbucks? And I'm like, sure. So I got some coffee. So normally if I drink coffee or any dairy related thing in the morning, I fucking die, because I would be very lactose intolerant, especially if I'm sleep deprived. So for a moment I'm like, maybe I should just stick with matcha. And then I thought, wait a second, I didn't even fucking sleep. Unless I fell asleep and wake up, then maybe I'm lactose intolerant. But I feel like I'm not lactose intolerant today. So I ordered a cold iced caramel macchiato, and I was totally fine because I was not lactose intolerant today. So quite crazy. Yeah. So there is that. Anyways, we arrived on set. So the filming is at Tarzana, which is near Encino, and we were at this restaurant, this Russian restaurant, and we were very early. We waited a while, so Tristan was gonna show up, but there was a lot of skerfuffle. Tristan didn't really show up until maybe 10 a.m. ish, or 11 or 10, I think, because of some car breakdown issues. It's very Tristan. Like, Tristan is such a clumsy and awkward person. It's so funny. But But yeah, so I met some other people. I met Cody, this other art PA guy who is very charismatic and extroverted, and the labeled a set dresser on the call sheet instead of art PA is this other guy named Joseph, who I think is definitely on the autism spectrum and is a very overly serious person. But yeah. But yeah, it's interesting that it's like a very Russian set. Like, all the actors speak Russian. It's funny. It's very interesting. You know, I go to film sets where it's very Chinese, but now we have a film set that's very Russian. So yeah, it goes on and on and on, and for the most part, it's really chill. At some point, Tristan, and the art director Todd, this other Chinese guy, very skinny, very quiet, very soft Chinese guy. His name is Todd, and we went to a Universal prop house. I've never been to a prop house. The Joseph, the very serious autistic guy, really wanted to go. He's like, I really wanted to go, but I can't. But can you please find this special guitar from Back to the Future? And then Tristan's like, yeah, okay. And then Tristan's like a little bit later, Tristan's like, yeah, I don't think he knows what going to a prop house really means. But anyways, we went to the Universal Studio prop house, and it's pretty freaking cool. I was there, and it was very brief, but I was able to get into the prop house, the major prop house warehouse, and take a look. And then a little bit later, we have to follow another guy on a golf cart to drive up a mountain to retrieve a giant coffin. And when we went over the mountain to get that prop coffin, we went through like Amityville, the village where Jaws happened. And then I'm like, that's like Universal Studios. And then I saw a Universal Studio tour like train. And I'm like, oh, this is Universal Studios. We're literally there, except we're here to work. So I was like, wow. Okay. Yeah, we went back, and then sometimes we have nothing to do, sometimes we have a lot to do. I really didn't want to do any heavy lifting, like moving tables and chairs, but we did a lot of that shit, of course. And we did a lot of moving tables and moving chairs, and it's not that bad, but it's whatever. And then lunch came. It came late because somebody messed up the ordering, but anyways, it came, and it's Chipotle. And I ate a big paper bowl of mismatch of rice, guacamole, lettuce, a little bit of beef, a little bit of chicken, here and there, lots of nachos. I just eat a lot. Whenever I'm sleep deprived, I eat a lot to stay awake, because it's my primary source of calories. But yeah. And then afterwards, so today is not even really shooting, it's actually rehearsal day. They just rehearsed a lot, and then I had to stand in so that the cameraman, the Steadicam op, can rehearse the camera movements, etc., etc. And then, yeah, and then that's basically, and then there's more complicated set dressing. So we transformed the restaurant into something that actually looked really fancy. And I'm like, wow, we're actually making the place look even like 20 times even better than what it originally looked like. Now there are like carpets and tablecloths and string lights and candles. just really fancy shit. And then that's it. We finished it, and then we all left, and I was driven back home. At 8:30 p.m. I returned, and then yeah, and then now I'm here. So, and I gotta have a little dinner now, I guess. Holy shit! I was so tired. Like after lunch, I almost fell asleep. No, I basically fell asleep. And just now, I was like, I'm gonna close my eyes and just like have a little nap. And I think this nap took a whole hour for me. I was just on my own chair. I just fell asleep on my chair. So yeah. Anyways, big update regarding Jiayun. I finally responded to her this morning. Jiayun's like, "Are you free in LA? Are you in LA now?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm in LA." And she's like, "Hey goat, are you in LA?" Like, oh, the language. It's just, "Hey goat, are you slaying? Hey goat, are you serving?" Like, oh fuck. And then she's like, "Oh great, cause would you still be down to help out with art stuff? Because right now Maisie's doing PD and art director is Maddie, which is this black girl whom I briefly met because she produced Summer's End. So I'll be just a silly little art PA for her, I guess. "Hey goat," and she's like, "You kind of ate with Summer's End PD, so I would love to have you back. You kind of ate. You kind of served. You kind of slayed. Yeah, you slayed as a fucking PA." And I can't say no because I don't want to be mean, but I just can't help but feel stupid. I'm like, fine, I mean, yeah, I'm free. And she's like, great. So, we'll need you on June 29th. That's the big shoot. We'll be filming in Downey. We'll get you a car. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, bring me. Fuck you. It's funny because Maisie's gonna come tomorrow to set, so I'll be seeing her anyways. So, that's cool. And yeah, I'm glad I didn't buy the tickets to the Quentin Tarantino double feature for the Hong Kong films, because even if I'm able to make it on time, I would fall asleep anyways. So yeah. But yeah, I need to go to bed at like 2 a.m. Like, I'm gonna wake up at 6:20 again, so 2 a.m. it is. Yeah, I don't even know what to eat for dinner. Maybe I'll eat the lasagna. Yeah, nothing fancy. I don't know. I also forgot to mention, but it appears Ends and Means is premiering in July, like mid-July, for the LA Shorts Festival. Bummer, because I won't be here. So, fuck, because I wish I would be here. But, honestly, not a big deal. We'll see. Time now is, 6:46 a.m. on June 17th. I slept from, okay, so this is where it gets complicated again. I went to bed quite early. I went to bed at 2:35. And since I'm waking up at 6:25, I have less than 4 hours, but not too bad. And of course, insomnia strikes, and I can't go to sleep, which is fucking insane. But eventually I did fall asleep at around 5 a.m. So 5 a.m. to 6, I basically really fell asleep for about 1.5 hours. So yeah. It's so crazy. I don't know what the fuck happened to me last night again. Like, I don't know. It's crazy because I thought I'm so fucking tired I would just crash. But no, I laid down and I couldn't fall asleep for the first hour from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. ish. I just can't sleep. I just roll around my bed, and that's a terrible feeling. And yeah, and then at some point at maybe 3:50 a.m. I left my bed and I'm like, fuck it. So I ate 2 melatonin pills, and it was fine. I still didn't fall asleep immediately after that. Yeah. And then miraculously I did fall asleep, but like it took a really long time. Yeah. So weird. And like when I woke up from the sleep, I was like, great, I can sleep more today. And then I realized, shit, there's a film set. You know, god damn it. If only the film set isn't there, you know. Yeah, I really want to just sleep. Yeah. I think it's very obvious. Yeah. I'm so tired. Hopefully today I'm tired enough to just crash out. I think another reason why I just couldn't immediately fall asleep is because at around 11 p.m. I already fell asleep on my chair. Ugh, fuck. Anyways, today's film set, Dead Matriarchs Jewels, day 2, same location. Hopefully it's chiller and I don't need to do much today. Maisie's gonna be there, so that's cool. Yeah. I also said Jayun's being like all nice to me and stuff again, even though she's only doing it for a purpose. You know, she's like, oh yeah, we'll give you a car and we'll drive you over here, blah blah. What other days are you free? So yeah, that's it.
It seems to speak of the Japanese for like hundreds of years.
Unless you think the water.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? Where's the police?
Yes. Don't fear.
Хорошо.
Fork knife next to each other, or do you want one on one side? Fork knife next to each other. I just want to.
Take a bite.
Другим.
Yeah, we should like mix it up.
Let's just upright swap.
Your character when I was like 19, and I'm like 25. We've been there for like 5 years.
It was pretty much like an engineering island. On the island there was a tower.
Still waiting too long to attack.
It might straighten me up probably.
He asks, "Are you?" And then after that, come in. Yeah.
I think he's giving me some time.
Yeah. Don't give him. Yeah. Don't give him neck dive. Interrupt him also. Everyone's interrupting everyone. It's supposed to be like, we're like, and action.
Денис, что это такое? Кто это? Зачем ты его на поминки притащил?
А я вам говорил, что он гей.
Скажи мне честно, он тебя сюда вот обманом притащил, да?
Listen, sir. Man, все хорошо. My client is not lying. I was posthumously hired by Vera Afanasievna to serve as your child's therapist. Really?
А я ему не отец, я дядя.
And?
Да если он был бы моим сыном, он бы у меня не вырос, как его называют это?
Дим, как-то молчите, ну. Остолопом!
Евгений, я прошу прощения за все эти обвинения, но вы как профессионал должны же понимать, что ваше присутствие здесь как-то неуместно.
Ему уже не помочь, тяжелый случай. Мы пытались, да.
Нашли ему работу на мясокомбинате.
Так он же отказался от нее.
А ведь мужчина его возраста должен оптимистично относиться абсолютно ко всем жизненным началам.
Но он же вегетарианец. Мясо он пока в университете.
Ну, как говорится, в семье не без тупого.
У нас у соседей такая дочка умница.
Ой, я не могу уже, это господи, когда же закончится?
Я бы не волновался.
Да, конечно.
С ним что-то решится, так или иначе.
Что, как с дедушкой?
О, нет, какие-то. Ой, только
Jesus fucking Christ!
Alright. And as they're having your conversation, as they're there, I want you to like look over them. And let me see. No, like just look at them, just look at them like that. Because we're gonna catch you with the camera in between them two. We're just gonna catch you because you're supposed to follow them after. But just pause, chatter, stare. Guys, stare. You're gonna know. Okay, you're hearing. Use the heart as your cue to start staring. Stop with him. Okay.
Are we gonna stop for this?
Yeah. Because he stops in his trap.
Your grandmother loved you. Do you find that shocking? How does she find you? Can't disclose client privileges.
Start going towards them. No, not you. Just him. Yes.
Your grandmother's death was a wish. You have any feelings on that moment? You were there when she died? No. But my count is off. Is there in the back room?
In the circle yet?
Только завестилась.
Это будет типа как off-camera. Это пройдет off-camera.
You don't stop.
Но если вы начинаете подтягиваться к нему, вы, во-первых, можете подняться и обойти, вот там вот пройти. То есть, и да, это тоже вот так вот заходите. То есть реально начинаете подтягиваться вот сюда, чтобы у вас уже как бы стена за ними.
Okay, time now is 10:44 p.m. On June 17th, and yeah, I am pretty much dead inside right now, even though I don't seem like it, because I think I slept for about somewhere between one and a half to maybe 3 hours. I'm not really sure. My guess is 2.5 accumulated. So it would be 1 hour on the chair, and then about 1.5 hours on my bed when I slept from like 5 to 6:30 a.m. But yeah, the sleeping is terrible. I just don't know what's wrong with me. I took 2 sleeping pills, and I still couldn't really fall asleep that fast. But I was less stressed out about it. My mentality was, if I don't fall asleep, then I don't. Like, I can't really fight my own body. But, yeah, that was basically my mentality going in for sleep. I think it's just a very intense reaction. Like, my insomnia is just a very intense reaction of suddenly not sleeping after a lot of oversleeping. So there's that. Anyways, I woke up and I ate a brownie, and then I left, and then I got picked up by Jin. I'm gonna call her Jinrun from now on, because I think Jin is just like such a vague name. Like, so Jinrun picked me up in her white Tesla and drove me to set. And then this time around, she also drove the other Korean American girl. And I thought she would be picking up Maisie. Maisie did not show up at all. I didn't ask her, and I didn't ask Tristan until way later in the day. I was like, hey, I thought Maisie would show up today. And Tristan, in a very awkward way, he's like, yeah, she's busy. She has work. And maybe I'm just bad at reading social cues, but for a moment I was like, oh, something weird's going on. But maybe Tristan's just awkward about it. Maybe Maisie does have work and just couldn't show up. But yeah, Maisie's on the call sheet, but unfortunately she's not showing up, so I couldn't see her the whole day. It would be cool. I feel like I've never really properly spoken to her for a good like a proper conversation. It's always like a word or two. Yeah, so there's that. Anyways, today is probably the most interesting day since I have returned to LA. I guess in terms of USC lore, I mean, I did line up for the Criterion truck, and I thought that was also a very interesting day. But yeah, I think today is also very interesting in terms of just like being around USC people again. So today is way more chill than yesterday. We're back at the Russian restaurant, and we have set up most things already, like the string lights, tables, etc. Today we're mostly putting up photos and fixing the red curtain in the back, which is hell. It's so like it's a shitty rig, and there's also other GNE stuff like lights in the back, and we have to wait for the GNE people to somehow get the C stands out from behind the red curtain, which is such a messy, cramped scuffle. And yeah, so that was a mess. But yeah, and then we made an even bigger mess when we set up food. So we had real Russian food, except we couldn't eat any of them. I did sneakily eat a slice of salami. But it's like, it's very beautiful too, like plates of salami, plates of raw fish, like smoked salmon. We have this huge tray of just Russian dumplings. They're actually Ukrainian. They're called vareniki, which is like Ukrainian potato dumplings, and just salad, and they just look so good. I'm like, I want to eat them. And then we have fake wine, which is basically grape juice or raspberry juice, and then we have glasses, etc. So yeah, we set up all of that, and then we had nothing else to do. Aside from going back to set and checking in if any photos have fallen, if any food had gotten somewhere else, etc. So anyways, I spent a lot of time today just sitting around and chatting, which is cool, because I think to me that's the highlight of a film set. It's just chatting with other people. It's a really social activity, and you know, the filmmaking is the side dish. And several, I think, intriguing information kind of popped up out of nowhere. First is when Jinroon and Jimin, the Korean American girl, they were in the car in front of me and I was in the back. They were gossiping. I was like trying to fall asleep, but I couldn't really fall asleep, and I just keep hearing them talk. At this point, Jinroon mentioned, "Oh, there's this guy in my cohort. His name is David," and I'm like, "Wait, is he like curly hair with glasses?" And Jinroon's like, "Yeah," and then Jimin's like, "Oh yeah, I know him too." So he's like famous, and he is one of the worst students of SCA right now. She is literally a danger to society. And then Jinroon's like, "Yeah, he has like an Asian fetish, and he keeps like DMing Asian girls and like acting weird, and like, and then apparently, so Polina is the Russian woman, the director of the film. Polina heard all these rumors about this guy David and uninvited him to a party, and David got so mad he called the police. And then I mentioned, oh, by the way, he served at the IDF, and Jimin was like, and then a lot of crazy things happen. Of course, there's the thing with Ollie, which is this Asian woman whom I've spoken to on day one of the construction of Locke, and then she and David were there, and they had a huge, or like David harassed her, and Ollie put a restraining order on him. And then Jinroon was also like kind of harassed by him over Instagram DMs, like just really weird stuff. And so Jinroon and a bunch of other girls decided to team up and make a humongous complaint about David and send it to the faculty, and apparently the faculty did nothing. So that's fucking insane. I hope David and his ass gets arrested someday. But yeah, apparently he's crazy. Like, he made a joke about proposing to someone to be first AC, but like as if it's like proposing to marry that someone. And then that someone over Instagram was like, "Hey, that's not okay. I'm not feeling very comfortable about the joke, you know, can you delete it?" And then David was like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." So yeah, that's one thing. I just thought that's really funny. There's this like big evil presence. You know, I remember, you know, half a year ago on the set of on Imperfect Us, David shows up out of nowhere, and I pretended that I don't know him, and he's like, "Oh, I know you." So that was funny. The other interesting things are with Tristan. So Tristan was there the whole day today, which is fantastic because I feel like I never really got around to speak to him. And today, and Tristan's like kind of like I wouldn't say loner. He's like the opposite of a loner. He's a very awkward, friendly guy, but at the same time he's like a little aloof. Like, he reads books and he's like he's not very online, but like in a very nice way. So I in Tristan's reading, so I was like, "What are you reading?" And I saw Lee Sang-dong, and I'm like, "Oh, film guy." And he explained, "Oh, these are short stories Lee Sang-dong wrote before he directed anything." And then a little bit later, during lunch, which is, by the way, pretty good lunch today, pretty good catering. Huge bowl of baked potatoes. We have mashed squash, which was gross. It's like baby food. I thought it would taste good, but no. There's multiple salads with avocado in it. Can't go wrong. We have fruits. And then we have half a wrap, just tiny wrap. Very, very tiny. Not too huge about it. But the potatoes made up for it. So we ate all that. And while lining up, I and Tristan, we talked. I was like, "How did you get into production design?" And Tristan was like, "Well, I started doing, you know, some graphic design during 508 and 5 something, which are like production classes for grad students, and he just got into it. And then I mentioned no, I know we just talked, I guess we sat together outside during lunch, which was hot as fuck, but you know what, if it means a good conversation, I'll sit outside. And my mom's texting me. So I was just like, oh, so you want to be a writer-director too? Because I thought he just wants to focus on PD, and he's like, no, I want to be a writer-director too, ultimately. And then I'm like, so what kind of film, like, what's a common thing you like writing or directing? Like, instead of asking what genre are you into, I think a better thing is like, what's your thing, you know? And he's like, oh, I just like really just attacking the audience, just dark comedies that are really crazy and absurd, and just attacking the audience, like sadist, like. And I was like, oh wow, yeah. And I really admire that, but I also think that there's like a group of students in SCA that are like specifically into that kind of stuff, like Colin and Garrett and Anya. That group is pretty much in that zone. And then the whole gross dark comedy thing, like Finn, the Chinese American girl, pretty much falls into that. Arjun also like had said similar things. Like there's a tiny circle that does this. But Tristan, I feel like, is one of the outstanders, because his thesis film is a love story that involves a lot of poop and a giant poop monster. So I immediately was like, oh, so you like Beau's Afraid? And he's like, oh, that's a great film. And then we just started talking. So before that lunch, like, Tristan's cool with me, but like Tristan like doesn't talk to me that much. Like, doesn't even look me in the eye that much, because he's really awkward and he looks around. But like after that, he actually talked to me way more. It opened up like a portal of friendship. So we talked about film, and then we ended up talking about Charlie Kaufman, because he really loved I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and I was like, oh, I really like adaptation. And then I talked about what I love, and then I was like, oh, you know, I really like I usually do slow cinema, and he's like, oh yeah, I love slow cinema too, like Apichatpong and Carlos Regadas. And I'm like, wow, like in my head I'm like, wow, he knows cinema. I mean, I'm not surprised, but like, you know, he made a film about a giant poop monster, and he's like an awkward, quiet guy, but he knows cinema, actually. Like, damn. And then and I'm also really happy that I can almost talk to anyone about films, because I feel like I watch quite a bit, and everyone I know like almost have like, there are bound to be films that we both love, and I can just talk to anyone about films. But yeah, we just talked, and then eventually we talked about like 310s and like taking risks, and how almost all USC films are like the same 3 films, like family dramas, personal issues, and immigrant story. It's always these 3. Yeah, and then I told, so apparently Tristan also went to a 310 screening, and surprisingly, it's the same 310 screening I went to last year in December, because he saw 2 films and he hated them, and one of which is Launch Order, which is directed by Rhys Zemeckis, which is funny because that's the only 310 I've ever crewed on. And then I told him, oh, there are a couple of very good films. So one is called Calf, and the other is like Labor of Love, and it's about a cam girl, and it's like very digital, very internet. And then he's like, oh, is it the one directed by Matt? And I'm like, whoa, you know Matt too? And he's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not close, but you know, I've heard a lot about him, and I mean, I'm not a big fan of him, but his reviews are really good on Letterboxd, but I just don't like his circle of friends. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, I've never met a Matt hater. And he's like, well, I know a couple of Matt haters. And he knows about the whole like the way he describes Matt is so interesting because as far as I know, like the Matt side of the people in the USC universe, I guess, it's like Colin, Garrett, Anya, Min, Asir, Tiger, Jack, the Can team, you know the drill. And then Tristan described him as like, yeah, Matt has a bunch of like hip New York friends. This guy Eugene something, referring to Eugene Kolyarenko, and you know they make like really like internet post digital media stuff, and you know I appreciate that it's very like a movement, is a forefront of the movement, but I just don't like this style of film. It's like mumblecore. And I'm like, wow, it's so interesting, you know? And suddenly I'm glad I'm not part of that movement. It's like there are several like groups, like there are the conventional filmmakers of USC, and then there are like the non-conventional. And then it's like a circle. Like the core in the middle are the conventional people, which is boring. But then you like branch out and you have dark comedy, body horror lovers, you have you know, slow cinema people. And as far as I know, Ivana is like one of the only slow cinema makers. And then you have you have like the digital post media stuff like Matt and Cheyenne and their friend Joshua. And then there's me, who I think at this point I'm like between dark comedy and whatever the fuck insane psychotic shit I love doing, or like I will love doing. I think I'm not going hard enough. But yeah, so interesting. He knows about Matt and he doesn't like Matt. And like Tristan is from a whole different universe. Like, okay, to be fair, I can connect it. I can make some connections. Like Matt knows Colin knows Maisie, Maisie knows Tristan. So that's already like 3 degrees apart. And then Tristan knows like a bunch of other people, and it's like it's all kind of connected. But that's such an interesting new perspective. I'm like, wow. And then yeah, a little bit later in the day we continued to talk, and a lot of people are just talking about their 508s, which is like the grad school equivalent of 310, and also their like the class before that, E1, E2, E3, E4, which is like exercise 1, 2, 3, 4, and then P1, P2, P3, which is projects 1, 2, 3. And then I think so the very charismatic guy, Cody, he's like, yeah, let me show you guys my E4. And it's this fun, crazy, wacky action movie. Action comedy. Really like anime live action. And like I've seen stuff like that. Like even that Korean American guy, what's his name? I forgot his name already. Cole. Him, like he does that kind of stuff too, but like not intentionally. Like without any artistic agenda. But Cody has an artistic agenda, and it's really wacky and fun and creative, and I loved it. Another guy there, his name is Jack, with with glasses, and he showed us his film, and it's like the Skinamarink kind of like experimental, like nuclear holocaust, not holocaust, like nuclear warfare, but like minimalist, and we're in a house, you know, which is okay. And then we're just talking about 508 projects, and Jin Roon also has a thesis that she applied for, and she was approved, and it's like an experimental film about a guy who finds out about his ceiling leaking, and it's like an alternate dimension thing. Like originally it's supposed to be about drug addiction, but she's like, no, it's too conventional. Anyways, and then at some point they talked about threesomes. Like Tristan was there. Tristan and Jinroon talked about like, oh, like the landlord and that story is having a threesome, blah blah blah. And then Jinrun's like, well, I already made a short film about a threesome, but it's like a really funny sex comedy. It's about a threesome, but one of the guys don't want to show up because he has a very small dick. Which is funny. I've seen this very tiny subgenre of films of like ridiculous sex comedies, which is cool, but I like the boldness, but I will never do something like that. If I do something like that, it would be funny, but in a very cynical way, you know. And then eventually Tristan was like, "Oh yeah, is it like just like porn? Like you know how there's this other 508 film and it's basically porn, and like the professors didn't like it because like obviously you can't make porn." And I'm like, who directed this? And Jinrun was like, this person Claire, and I'm like, Claire, and then I recall the only Claire I know is the TA for my world building class, you know, who is like a nice person, and she's a little, not to like be mean, but like she seems like a little basic. She seems like she only likes cool, like mainstream stuff, but that's the only Claire I know. And I'm like, Claire Lee? And they're like, yeah. And I showed Jinrun her Instagram, and Jinrun's like, yeah, it's her. And I'm like, what? She made porn? And Tristan's like, yeah, like, oh, don't underestimate her freaky side. So I'm like, what? It's very unexpected. And they're like, yeah, Jinrun's like, yeah, she has like a tattoo of a whale on her chest. Like, I'm like, what? Very random. But it's like, it's serious too. It's not funny. It's about a girl who fantasizes about a threesome. And then I asked Tristan about it, but then as I asked him, he got cut off, and then we got interrupted, and we have to wrap this up. But that's so interesting. So, like, even though a lot of USC films are very, very basic and conventional, but, like, there's also, like, a lot of people who are into making sex comedies or straight-up sex films, which makes me realize I'm not crazy enough. Like, Smooth Operator seemed really crazy when I made it, but turns out it was not crazy enough. On our way home, when Jinrun drove me home, and with Jimin, the Korean-American girl, and the other Russian-American guy, Russian-American boy, his name is Evan. They talked about, like, crazy 310s. And Jimin was like, oh, there's a 310, it's called Soup, and it's about a chef who falls in love with another chef, like a chef idol, and jerks off, and that's the opening scene. And then there's a scene where he shits everywhere. And then Jinrun talked about Tristan again. Like, Jinrun was like, yeah, before I met Tristan, like, all I know about the guy is, like, he likes making a lot of, like, shitty stuff. And like, very degenerate, like, gross stuff. Like, apparently, Tristan showed his butt to the class. Because apparently one of his first short films is just himself pretending to jerk off or something. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting, because like my 290 also opened off with like a scene, like a masturbation scene. And then I realized, wow, it turns, I mean, I know it's probably just like a few people, but I can still sense a trend of like people liking like vulgar, like really out there stuff. And now I'm thinking, man, like maybe I should go even harder next time. But yeah, definitely interesting stuff, interesting lore. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So that's fun. And then all at the same time, so after lunch, I actually made a phone call with Wang finally. I wanted to call her in early May, and then I ended up calling her in like nearly late June. And we just talked about like scoring, the new score for The World Is Not Enough, and we talked about Cannes Film Festival a little bit, you know. She only saw one film, and that is the Grand Budapest, the Phoenician Scheme, you know. Okay, all at the fucking same time, Jiayun was texting me. The last person I want to talk to, really. I know she's not like a op, she's not a huge enemy, but it's still really weird considering that in late April I like cut her off. So Jiayun continued asking me to confirm my my availability. I was like, oh, I don't think I can do 28th. And she's like, wait, so are you free in the 28th? And I'm like, no. And then we just can just talk and talk. But like, I was clearly way less enthusiastic about talking to her at this point. I give very short answers. And then she does this when she texts me. She's like, oh, can you please, with a lot of S, maybe ask another person to do RPA for us? Preferably with a lot of Y, with a car, and then a pink heart emoji. And I'm like, I've texted Jiayun before, and she's never sounded this fake. It's the word preferably. You don't need to extend the Y. It's a normal word. If you say please with a lot of S, I get it. You're very desperate. But the word, it's preferably. You don't need that many Ys. There's something about the way she talks. It's just so incredibly fake. I just can't take her seriously anymore. This is making me liking her even less. And then, she asked me if I have a permit to rent stuff in Universal, and I'm like, no. I mean, I just went to the prop house yesterday, and she's like, yeah, I know, I saw. And I'm like, no, I don't, but I can ask my PD, but I highly doubt he has any time. And she's like, oh, never mind, because we need a mirror, and I'm like, okay. And she sent me a photo of, like, a mirror that she wants, which I think is essential to the plot anyways. So, yeah, I don't know. A little bit later, I mentioned Jiayun said to Tristan. Tristan asked me, so what are you doing for summer? And I'm like, well, I'm going back to Hong Kong. And Tristan's asked me, oh, do you have other sets? And I'm like, yeah, actually. It's like, the one Maisie's PDing for. I didn't mention Jiayun's name. And Tristan was like, oh, is it, with Madeline's Eye? And I'm like, yeah. I've never talked to this Madeline Tsai, but he is this Taiwanese girl, and she's also pretty successful, and she's a producer, obviously. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm really doing on that set. And Tristan's like, yeah, I don't think Maisie knows either. So, interesting. At some point I mentioned Yao, like Wen Yao, the Chinese PD. And Tristan's like, oh, that's interesting, because earlier this morning, Maisie asked me for her number. And I'm like, oh. So yeah, all the PD people just know each other, and circle small, indeed. Circle is small. But yeah, that's basically today. I'm debating whether I should go tomorrow, because I'm really tired, I want to sleep. And also, tomorrow, apparently, Mia, aka Sandrine's daughter, is in LA and wants to meet us, the Can team, in a bar. But by Can team, it's mostly gonna be Asir, because Asir probably has a crush on her, and Min and Matt and Jack and Tiger, the gang. And then if I go tomorrow and it's just that gang, I probably may not go, even though they're all nice to me. But it's just gonna feel kind of pointless. Camden seems like he's going, so if a lot of people was like, oh, I want to go, then sure, I guess we can all meet up. But yeah, that's that. So I may not even go to set tomorrow. I need a day of break, but I will go the next day. Yeah, and I need to like go to Trader Joe's again or something, and like just like do some review and edit a little bit again, because you know I'm like deteriorating right now. The beeping is still going on. The maintenance request I filed was like urgent, so I thought they were gonna come on Monday. It's fucking Tuesday night, bitch. So I'm gonna file another maintenance request. It's so crazy. It's so stupid. This thing might as well beep for months. But yeah. I don't have much else to say. I'm kind of looking forward to traveling to Beijing and maybe Japan, but my mom just now said that maybe we're going to Chongqing instead, which seems like a huge downgrade. You just told me we're going to Beijing, and that seemed like a huge thing. It's weird, but I was like, you know what, bring it on. I did a little research. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go make dinner now. Yeah. Okay, right now it's 2:35 p.m. Yeah, goddamn, big sleep. I slept from 4 a.m., actually 4:20 a.m. to 12, and then I thought I should go back to bed, and then I naturally woke up just now because I was like, nah, I'm tired. I gotta sleep a little more, so here it is. Yeah. But yeah, no problem sleeping at all. I fell asleep like immediately, and yeah. Yeah. So that was really good. That's the sleep I needed. So yeah. A couple more things that I did not, discuss in depth yesterday. Last night, man, I didn't do much. I didn't take a nap on my chair, and I only watched like the first half an hour of Captain America 4. But last night I spent quite some time doing research on Beijing and Chongqing. So, last night my mom suddenly texted me, saying, hey, the plane ticket to Chongqing is actually even cheaper, and we have to call now to decide whether we want to go to Beijing or Chongqing. And that's a very sudden change, because for the last few days, it's a bit lame, because the moment my mom told me that we're going to Beijing, suddenly I got a little excited, and I did like research. I made a custom Google map where I basically just highlight a bunch of places that I want to visit in Beijing. And it's lame because I'm a little too passionate about this. Second of all, again, I really dislike the Chinese government, so me being excited to go to Beijing is like me being excited to go to the belly of the beast. But it's just such a cool, historical place too. I really want to visit all the museums and all the historical landmarks. So yeah. But when my mom suddenly told me that we're going to Chongqing, I was a little let down. I was like, it's like a downgrade. But I'm like, maybe it's still a very cool place, maybe it's still really worth it. So, my mom called me, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna think about it, and I'll call you back. So, over dinner, I basically did a bunch of research on like places to visit in Chongqing, and as it turns out, Chongqing is like a very, of course it's not as big or as interesting as Beijing, but also turns out it's a very chill place. Like, it's a lot of malls, it's a lot of streets where you just walk around and shop, and there are a couple of historical landmarks, but nothing that mind-blowing. There are a couple of interesting hidden spots, an underground tunnel hot pot restaurant. There's this really crazy naturally formed stone archway, but that's like 2 hours away. There's a really interesting demon place, the Temple of Demons, but that's like very far away from the city as well. The city itself is like okay, there's just a lot of cool looking malls. Which, yeah, I'm not completely against it, but I'm not gonna spend a whole week there. 4 days max. Second of all, yeah, it's very chill, and I guess it just depends on whether I want to travel chill or I want to travel intense. So, I called my mom and I explained. I still haven't really made the decision, but my mom's like, yeah, judging by what you've just told me, I think Beijing seems like the more interesting place. So let's go to Beijing. So it's been decided. My mom bought the tickets. We're fucking going to Beijing. Which still feels so really crazy. Like, oh, I guess we're just going to this crazy far away. Not far away, but like, I guess we're just going to this place. It just feels very like irrational, like very impulsive. It's crazy because Beijing supposedly is a capital city that is closer to me culturally than I guess every other capital city ever. But like if my mom's like, yeah, let's go to Tokyo this summer, it feels less crazy. It's like, yeah, Tokyo. Like there's something family friendly about Tokyo, but Beijing is just like, oh, what the fuck? We're going to Beijing? So yeah, we are going to Beijing. And then there comes the other question of also going to Japan, because this is an even more irrational thing to do, is to go to Japan. And my mom's like, well, you can just solo go to Japan after, if you really want. But again, it's a huge, like, a chunk of money and time will be gone, but who knows. And I told my mom, well, maybe I can go with my cousin because my cousin's back. And my mom's like, yeah, your cousin is already going to Japan in late August to meet with ex-uncle and his mistress for 2 days. And I'm like, what? He's going to Japan. He's going all the way to Japan just to meet with his ex-father just for a couple days. Yeah, it's weird. It's ridiculous. But if that's the case, then I think it's totally okay for me to just solo travel to Japan for a week. Kyoto. And vlog. Just, that's all I want to do. That's another thing, is if I go to Beijing, I will film a lot more. But I feel like Chongqing is gonna be like Shenzhen. I mean, surely Chongqing is gonna be about 50 times more interesting than Shenzhen, but it'll still be like semi-boring. Like I'll be walking around in malls and just filming malls. Beijing seems to be the more interesting thing. But yeah, in Kyoto, I would just like to vlog. Man, I would like to just film. So yeah. Yeah, what else? Okay, Jia-Yun's shoot, Rush. I'm just not really like that excited about it. I guess this is, in some ways you could say, this is probably the closure I wanted. Like, since the whole talk in December and the whole fiasco over the semester, maybe this is the closure. It's funny because Jia-Yun even told me, like, oh, I'll buy you coffee because you did so much for me for summer's end, and then now this. And I'm like, okay. I don't get excited over things like this anymore. It's gonna be an empty promise. She's gonna say, I'll buy you coffee, and she will never buy me coffee or anything. It's just nothing but empty promises, Pepper said, I'll buy you lunch, it never happened. Leslie said, I'll buy you lunch, it never happened. Jia-Yun said, let's meet up for coffee, and it never happened. So I think it'll never fucking happen. So yeah. But of course we'll see. But it's just, I don't know. empty promises, you know. Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about today. So today, obviously, I'm not going to set, which I feel a little bad about because the art department's very small today, and Tristan's gonna be very sleep deprived because he just pulled an all-nighter. But I can't. I'm also very sleep deprived, and yeah. Tonight there's a chance that I'm going to a bar where Matt, Min, bunch of others will be there. The thing is, I don't know whether I should go or not. Like, if it's just gonna be Matt and his tight gang, then it'll be a bit awkward. If Colin, Garrett, Zach, and Elizabeth, and Emma, and Arjun all show up, then yeah, I will, you know. I don't know why, but I mean, I do know why, but like after the day hanging out with Emma and Arjun, I feel way more comfortable being around them than with Matt. Matt is still, I'm not a Matt hater, not really a Matt lover either. Matt is still someone elusive at the end of the day, you know. I would like to socialize more with Colin and Garrett, though. I feel like even though I literally lived with them in the same house for like 12 days, I still don't really get the chance to just talk to them. Just purely talking and really getting to know them, you know? Yeah. And I want to, you know, because they're cool people. And they're the forefront, perhaps, the forefront of experimental filmmaking in undergrad production. And it's also extra ironic that Tristan talked shit about Matt yesterday, and now I'm meeting Matt. So I don't know, maybe I'll go. And I also kind of want to go to Trader Joe's for a little bit because, low-key, I'm running out of food again. And then aside from that, yeah, I forgot to mention. So, last night, or like 2 nights ago, I offered $42 and not $45 to buy My Heart Is That Eternal Rose Blu-ray. And then the offer got accepted, I immediately bought it, so I just bought that Blu-ray. Hella expensive, but it's the lowest I can bargain. More Blu-rays are coming. I'm just thinking of Blu-rays I want to get before I go back to Hong Kong, because then it'll be a while. So, yeah. Okay, it's 10:26 p.m. Yeah, NIHT. So I ended up not going to the bar with the CAN team, mainly because I know something's off. So as it turns out, only like 3 people showed up, like Matt, Min, and Jack, and I think Asir was there. I think Tiger was there too, but it's just that group. And I think Mia was there, and that's probably just it. I WhatsApp texted Camden at some point. I was like, hey, are you going to the bar thing later? And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And then 3 minutes later, he's like, actually, no. And then a little bit later, he's like, oh, no, maybe. He's saying all this because he's like, oh, I realized the place they're going to is a place where I had a traumatizing date. Like, it was a terrible date. And so I'm like, okay. I asked Camden, like, if you're planning to go, can you pick me up and drive me there? And he's like, yeah, sure. So he's like, oh, sorry, I'm not going at the end. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. So yeah. So instead, I lied to them and I was like, oh, I can't go because I'm preparing for a film set tomorrow. And then yesterday, I was like, I can't come to set because I need to do something tomorrow night. So it's like, both the film set and this meetup become excuses for not going to neither, essentially, which is so fucking stupid. It's amazing. So yeah, anyways, today instead I rested up, I did not do anything, and I went to Trader Joe's, which is good. I think I've been so tired the last couple of days. Today I spent so much time just not doing anything. I was just so not in the mood for anything. Even though I have a bunch of things I plan to edit, I ended up having, I haven't even touched the fucking Adobe Premiere Pro, which I should do it right now. I just looked at GeoGuessr videos. So yeah, that's that. And I don't have much else to report. Again, I'm really looking forward to going back to Hong Kong. Like, I'm looking forward to Anime Expo, going back to Hong Kong, traveling to Beijing, maybe traveling to Kyoto. That's my thing now. Yeah, looking forward to the Hong Kong On-Screen Film Festival, and then round 6. So, aka my last round. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's still crazy that I'm going to Beijing, and if I do actually go to Kyoto at the end, it would be Beijing and Kyoto back to back, which is such a crazy, like, literally 2 of the most culturally important cities in, like, recent history. I'd say, like, from the modern period, like 16th century to 20th century, like, this is like 2 of the most important cities in East Asia, I think. I can't think of many other cities that are just as important. I guess Tokyo, like Edo, but, you know, Beijing and Kyoto back to back is just nuts. Yeah. But then also, like, back in Europe, back in 2018, I did, like, 9 countries back to back. That was just pure insanity. I don't think I'll ever be able to pull something off like that. I don't have much else. I just want to hang out with some people, like, for real. I just want to talk to some people. Like, talk, you know. That's the issue, is I don't know anyone still. Like, I think sometimes I'm like, oh, these people are so weird. I think it's partially because I only know, like, I know people in a very general surface level way, and then suddenly I know a deep fact about them, but just one fact without any context, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, you know, again, like with Claire, you know, I know she's like a regular, like, nice person, she does like VR stuff, and then someone told me that she made a porn film, and she's freaky, and I'm like, what the fuck? But maybe there's a lot of, like, context, maybe there's a lot of, like, socio-political context in there that I'm just not knowing. Like, same for me. Like, I honestly don't think I'm crazy. I think I'm a normal person. I think I'm normal as fuck. People who know me may think of me as just like a chill, skinny guy, kind of awkward, kind of quiet, but also very artsy, you know? And then they see my film and it's like the most ridiculous, fucked up thing ever. And they're like, what the fuck? But it's like, you gotta know my history first. You gotta know the things I'm anxious about, the things I'm afraid of in this world. You know, my immigrant experience, my politics, my secondary school experience. So, you know, everyone has a lot of context in there. I just don't know them. Anyways, I'm gonna edit a little bit, and then I'll have dinner, and then I'm kind of thinking of making dinner and bringing it up here to eat, because I feel like I'm wasting time, because I suddenly realize I have a lot to do, and I actually do have to wake up, like, go to bed early tonight, so that I can wake up early again. Also, when I go to bed and I feel hot, that's insomnia, actually. Last night when I went to bed, I don't feel hot at all. Your body's supposed to feel cold when you're sleepy. That's why whenever I had jet lag, I would feel cold out of nowhere randomly, that's because my body's telling me to sleep and the temperature's going down. So my body being hot isn't because it was hot. It was literally because my body is like forgot to sleep. So anyways, tomorrow call time is 8:30 a.m. not 8 a.m., which means I can sleep for half an hour more. That's nice. That's really nice. So yeah,